Squared, okay? What's different about number 8? Just there's a lot more going on. But do you see how this is squared? Is it on the x or is it around the parentheses? It's around the parentheses. So just like you wanted to get that x squared by itself, you're going to treat this the same way. You want to get the parentheses by themselves. Okay? So we're going to solve this just like an equation. What do you need to move first?
Distribute. Negative 12.
The test is a 60. Yeah.
Negative 12.
No, I'm not going to move my negative 12.
Oh, you're going to distribute?
I'm not going to distribute.
15.
Move your 15. Add your 15. You're going to have 3x plus 1 squared equals what's negative 12 plus 15?
3.
3. All right, now, the reason I could not distribute is because there's this squared here, okay? So, can I distribute now? Where's that squared still there?
So squared.
The squared is still there. How do I undo that 3? If I can't distribute it,
Divide.
not the opposite of multiplication, I just said over here, we're going to divide both sides by 3 because I can't distribute because of the squared. So now I'm going to have x plus 1 squared equals, what's 3 divided by 3?
1.
1. All right? Is there anything else you can move right now? Hey, can we move anything else?
You can subtract.
I can't subtract 1 because it's what right now?
You can move the 2.
Okay, we're going to undo this square. How do you undo something that is squared? We're going to square root both sides. That's going to undo that square. You're going to have x plus 1 equals, what's the square root of 1?
1.
And plus and minus 1. Okay? Now that looks a little funky, correct? We're going to split this into 2 equations. We're going to say x plus 1 equals positive 1. And what x plus 1 equals negative 1. Now you're still just trying to get that x by itself. What do you need to move on this one?
The 1.
Uh-huh. What's 1 minus 1?
0.
0. Okay, there's one of your x-intercepts. What do I need to move on this one?
The 1.
How do I move the 1?
That's right.
What's negative 1 minus 1?
2. Negative 2.
Negative 2. There's your other x-intercept. Alright, so we're going to slow it down. Are we okay when we move the 15 first?
Yes.
Okay, we're trying to get these parentheses by itself. We got to move it away. Then, how do we undo this 3? Yes, divide it by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. I can't do anything else with this right here because it is squared. So the only thing I can do to undo something that is squared is square root it. Well, when I square root this, it's going to undo that squared. So I just have x plus 1. The square root of 1 is positive 1 and negative 1. We have to make it into 2 equations to solve. Okay? All right. I'm going to give you a problem that's not on this paper. So somewhere like up at the top, or you can flip it over, somewhere where you have a little bit of space, I want you to write down this problem because it's similar to the one we just did. I'm not ready to move on to that next one yet. All right. You're going to write 4.
4.
X plus 7 squared plus 22 equals 38. Alright, so just like we did on number 8, I'm trying to get these parentheses by themselves. What do you need to move first? Good, how do you move that 22? Subtract it. 38 minus 22? 16. Good. All right. What am I going to need to undo now?
The square root.
Oh, not the square root. Yeah, the 4. How do I undo that 4?
Divide.
X plus 7 squared equals 4. Now, is there anything else you can move?
Yes. The square.
Yeah, your only option is to square root it. You're going to have x plus 7 equals, what is the square root of 4? And,
Negative 10.
okay, what? What did you say, Liz?
Negative 10.
Negative 10? What's the square root of 4?
Oh, no, 2, yeah.
2, and positive 2 and negative 2. Are we okay with everything we've done so far? Okay? Yeah, we are. But are we done? Is this x by itself?
No.
So we're going to split this into x plus 7 equals positive 2. And x plus 7 equals...
-2.
Uh-huh. How do you get that x by itself?
Subtract.
Uh-huh. X equals -5.
X equals.
How do you move this 7?
Subtract it.
Uh-huh.
And then there'll be x equals -9.
There you go. We kind of okay with the process? All right, go look at number 9. Okay, on the same page, number 9. Okay, y'all, we're basically we're going to repeat the same process. We're trying to get these parentheses by themselves. What's the first thing you need to move? Okay, how do you move that -2? Good. It is going to be 25. All right, now, what else do we need to undo?
5.
And how do you undo that 5?
Divided by
Good, divide by 5. Because I want to get rid of that 5 right there. Those will cancel. And I'm going to have x plus 9 squared equals 5. Okay, I just heard it. What do I need to do next?
square root.
Square root it. Here's where it's going to get a little funky.
So you want to divide by this?
Uh-huh. This is going to undo itself, and you're going to just have x plus 9 equals, what is the square root of 5?
Square root. It says square root.
It is not 2.5. That would be half of it.
It's
Is it 5,
and square root.
or is it the square root of 5?
Square root.
Square root of
All right, so you're going to just leave it as the square root of 5. Okay, but how many answers do you need?
2.
2. So what needs to go in front of this?
Positive.
Positive and
Negative.
negative. All right. This feels very funky, correct? Because that square root of 5 was not a full number. Just complete the process. What do we need to get all by itself?
The x.
The x. So what do you need to move?
The 9.
You do need to move the 9. And y'all, can I put this together to make one pretty number?
Yes.
No.
No. So you're just going to leave this as x equals -9 plus or minus the square root of
5.
5. I know that feels very unnatural. Don't necessarily think about the numbers, think about the process.
So if you get any type of square root, then you just
If you get any type of square root, if it is not a perfect square, you're going to leave it. Does that make sense? Okay? And then you're trying to get that x by itself. Yes, Delilah?
Why did it square root the 9?
Why did I not square root the 9? I did square root this, but it just cancels out this right here.
Okay.
That's what's canceling out. Does that make sense? The squared and the square root are canceling. Alright, so this, how many answers is this technically?
2.
2. One is -9 plus the square root of 5, and one is -9 minus the square root of 5. Okay? Alright, flip over to number 10. Yes. Alright. What do we need to move first on? Huh? Oh, I don't know. You're going to figure out something about this. I heard it negative what? How do you move it? Good. Alright. Travis, what would you do next?
Divide it 2.
Good. Divide both sides by 2. What's going to happen to the 2's? And we're going to have x plus 5 squared equals, y'all, it's 4 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is not 0. 2. Alright. Good, I heard it. Your only option now is to do what?
Square root.
Square root it. Because we're square rooting it because what is that 2? That 2 is squaring it, so we want to undo it. It's kind of like how multiplication undoes division. Those are going to cancel, and I'm going to have x plus 5 equals
The square root of 2.
the square root of 2. But what's got to go in front of that square root of 2? Plus or minus the square root of 2. Because when you take the square root of an a number, you have a positive answer and a
Yeah.
negative answer. What do you have to get by itself?
The two. I mean,
Not the
5
two.
to X.
The X, so what do you need to move?
The 5.
How do you move it?
Subtract.
Uh-huh. And you're just gonna have X equals -5 plus or minus the square root of
2.
2. Now, why did I leave it like this? Why don't I have
'Cause there's
two
two
pretty number
answers.
answers?
Because it's already
Because it's not a perfect square.
Because 2 wasn't a perfect square, and that's 2 answers with the plus and the minus. Okay? What would you like to do first on number 11? What do you want to do, Landon?
Add 29.
Love it. Add 29. 31 plus 29, 60. All right. So, Leah, what should we do next? Not yet.
That's fine.
I mean, divide by 2.
Good. Divide by sides by 2. 60 divided by 2. Good. All right, Harlem, what are we going to do now? Good. Square root both sides. They're going to cancel out. X minus 7 equals, what needs to go in front of that square root of 30?
Plus the 9.
Plus or minus the square root of
30.
30.
You both came from school.
Yes, 30 is not a perfect square. I heard it. Do what?
X equals cancel it.
Get your x by itself. So x equals 7 plus or minus the square root of 30.
You're not going to add first.
Huh? You can't, because that 30, the square root of 30 is a really, really long decimal. It's irrational. It never ends. So you just have to leave it like this. Yes, Tyrus? Putting
Because you
this,
gotta equal it.
because I get that x by itself. Good question. All right, 12. What do we need to move first on 12?
The 49.
Good, add to 49. What is this, 62? All right, now, this one's a little different.
X inside.
You just square root it.
Okay, good. I don't have anything else to move, correct? Is there anything else for me to move here?
There's a 3.
There's a 3, but is the 3 on the inside or the outside?
Outside.
It's on the inside, so Landon is correct. All I can do now is square root both sides. So we have 3x minus 1 equals,
Square root of 62.
okay, what needs to go in front of that square root of 62?
Plus and minus.
Plus or minus the square root of 62.
2.
All right? Now, I know this is going to feel really funky, but just follow the process. What's the next thing you need to move?
Get your 1 away.
Okay, move your 1. So 3x equals 1 plus or minus square root of 62. Are you done?
No,
Okay,
you gotta
wait,
go-
wait,
you gotta
wait, wait.
divide by
Okay, we'll wait. We'll
When
pause.
you get one, what you write? Put a 1 on it.
Because I still have to get this x by itself. So I'm moving the 1 away. I do have to get that x by itself.
You gotta divide by 3.
I'm going to divide it by 3. And you're just going to leave it like this. Okay. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Actually, let me show you. I need you to write down one other little example. Can y'all write a problem right here for me? Somewhere where there's space. Or down at the very bottom. We're not doing the very bottom. Wherever you want, okay? Write down this for me real quick. 3 parentheses. Actually, I'm going to choose a different number. Color because that's blue. 3 parentheses x squared minus 7 plus 4 equals 4. All right. What would you move first on this?
The 4.
Okay, you move 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Okay, now what would you do?
Divide by
Divide by 3. What's 0 divided by 3?
0.
0. All right, so now this one's a little bit different, but you know how to do it, okay? Do y'all see how this squared, it's not around the whole parentheses, it's just around the x. So what do you do now?
Oh, you gotta know what.
You would add your 7, and then what would you do?
Square root.
Then you would square root it. Okay? So if it's just on the x, you do basically like what we did yesterday. Okay? If it's around the whole thing, that's when you're doing more like what we did today. Okay? Keep your notes out. Do not put them away. Keep them out. Yes, Lydia?
Why wouldn't you distribute like the 3x to the x?
You could. On this one, you could. It would just be a little bit more work. Because you would distribute and you get 21, then you'd move your 21, and then you have to divide by 3, and then you'd have to square root it. But if you want to do that, you totally can.